And we are following breaking news coming out of federal politics. A former Conservative MP is crossing the floor to join the Liberal government. Who else but our Glenn McGregor is following this development for us here. Glenn, there's lots to get to here. This is an interesting development. I see you nodding your head already.
We thought this was going to be a slow day here on Parliament Hill. Faiza, the MPs aren't sitting this week. The Prime Minister's out in Vancouver doing some announcements there. So we thought, wow, this would be kind of low-key day. But no, a little after 10, Mark Carney went to social media, posted on his X account that Matt Jeneroux had decided to join the Liberal caucus. Matt Jeneroux's name might be familiar from the discussions back in November about potential Conservative MPs crossing the floor. Of course, Chris D'Entremont, who was an MP from Nova Scotia, he left to join the Liberals right before a key vote on the budget, and Matt Jeneroux's name has been kicked around as someone else who might be interested in doing that too. Jeneroux never really said anything publicly about it, but then after a few days of speculation, he announced instead of joining the Liberals, he was going to resign his seat. He was going to leave federal politics altogether. He had been an MP since 2015 and representing a riding in Edmonton. Previous to that, he'd also been a provincial a member of the Legislative Assembly in Alberta, so long history in politics. So we thought this spring he was going to quit. He was going to create a vacancy in the House and move on, do something else. But no, he is staying, according to Carney's statement. I'm going to read to you a little bit about what Carney posted. He said, "I am honored to welcome Matt Jeneroux to our caucus as the newest member of Canada's new government. And as a new special advisor on economic and security partnerships, Matt's leadership will contribute to strengthening Canada's alliances and trade partnerships, advancing Canada's leadership in global security and cooperation, and building our strength at home. The world has changed and Canada must change with it. This is a time to come together, and together we will build a stronger future for Edmonton, Alberta, and all Canadians." What's a little weird about that statement is this reference to Jeneroux taking on this role as special advisor on economic and security partnerships. I'm not really sure. That sounds like it's a new role that Carney has created to give Jeneroux, possibly as an incentive, to convince him finally, after months of speculation, to cross the floor. This is quite clearly bad news for Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. This is now the third defection from his caucus, if you include D'Entremont and Michael Ma, a Markham MP who shortly before Christmas just announced he was crossing the floor as well, leaving the Conservative caucus and joining the Liberals. And now we have Jeneroux. But only yesterday, Poilievre was asked about how things are going in his caucus. Take a listen to what he said.
How do you feel about how things are going in caucus?
Look, overall, I think we have a great team. We're the only party that's addressing the real issues that are affecting people's daily lives. And whether it's on affordability, the affordability of food, the safety on our streets, and the self-reliance of our economy, we have an incredible team of caucus members who have been fighting for those things, and we're going to keep doing that.
So the key question here is, how does this affect the Liberals' drive to get majority status in the House of Commons? Well, with some of the resignations of cabinet ministers like Chrystia Freeland and Bill Blair, former cabinet ministers, both of them resigning as MPs, the Liberals are essentially 3 seats short because a Liberal MP who was elected in Terrebonne last year, that election was set aside, so they're now 3 short. So if they sweep those by-elections and can hold on to Terrebonne, then they would have majority status when you include Jeneroux in their caucus. But that's a big if, because Terrebonne is Bloc Québécois territory, has been for a very long time. It was a surprise the Liberals won it. This is going to put a lot of focus on that riding in Quebec to see if the Liberals can win that seat, get their majority status, or potentially bring another MP over from the Conservative side to join the Liberal caucus. Faiza.
Okay, quite the development in Ottawa today. Our Glenn McGregor following the latest. Thanks so much.